All right, we've got two problems here, and they're on different slides, so you're only seeing number 17 right now. So it says use a table, an equation, and a graph to represent each relationship. So Ty is 3 years younger than Bea, okay? And we could say, okay, if Ty was, well, and really, I like to use X and Y. Let's just use X and Y because that's pretty standard for what you do. So we're going to say X here and Y here, and then what do we need to do? We need to say, we need to define the variables. We need to say y equals Ty's age x equals Ty's age, and y equals Bea's age. Okay, so let's make a table. If Ty is, let's say, 2, and it says Ty is 3 years younger than Bea, well, what does that mean? Well, then she must be 5, okay? Because he's 3 years younger, and so on. Like, if he was 5, then she would be, since he's 3 years younger, she would be 8, okay? And if he was 10, she would be 13. Ty's 3 years younger, so you can write it like this. You can say her age is equal to his age, Ty's age, x. What do we have to do to his age? He's 3 years younger, so we need to take his age and add 3 onto it in order to find out what her age is. Okay, that's then an equation, which I'm going to, by the way, put a box around that because that's one of the answers that we need. Okay, and so on. We could write this table all the way down, but what I want to do right now is I want to say, let's take a couple more values. Okay, we could take any values. Doesn't matter what order they're in. I'm going to say, what if he was 7? Oops. What if he was 7? Well, if he was 7 and he's 3 years younger than she is, then she's 10, etc. Now, his age is x, so we're going to put that on the x-axis. Ty's age. And let's put our marks here. Okay, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to write 5 there, but then I'm not going to write numbers for every one of them. We know what the numbers are. 8, 9, 10. We have kind of guideposts with that 5 and the 10 that says, okay, if this is 0 and 5 is 5 units later, then we know that we're going by 1 on each unit. Okay, so again, that's 0 in this direction, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. Okay? So let's plot these as ordered pairs. And when I say ordered pairs, what I'm talking about is, if you look up top, you can see that this right here, if we wrote it, we could write it as 2, 5. And we could take here and we could say, starting from the origin, we always start at the origin, go over to 2, up to 5, and we can plot that as a point, 2, 5. We can plot that as a point that we have from the table, right, in x and y. And then let's say, okay, let's take another point, 5, 8, right, because that's in x and y. And let's go over here to 5, go up to 8, right there. And let's plot it, 5, 8. Okay, we really only need 2 points, but let's do another one. Okay, now 10, 13 actually goes off the graph. You can see that up here, this only goes up to 12. So we'd be off the graph if I tried to graph that 13 in the y direction. So I'm going to pick 7, 10. But the first thing I'm going to do, actually, before I do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line through these 2 points. Okay, I'm going to go from here through those points, and I'm going to extend it out and grab this end and extend it backwards so that it's going through these points exactly through those points, and we can see then other points that would then land on the graph. What I mean by this is this. Now if we go over here and we do 7 comma 10. We go over to 7, up to 10, and we see that that truly is the right line that represents it, because another point, 7 comma 10, is also on it the way that we need it to be if it was true. Okay, so there's a million different ages that you could be looking at. Okay, you could say, what if Ty was 1/2? Then Bea would be 3.5. What if he was 1 3/4? Well, she would be 4 3/4, etc. And you can pick any particular age for Ty, follow it up, and then say, what would that make Bea? And let's try it one more time for that. What if Ty was 8? Okay, which is not a point that we've got, but if Ty was 8, going over here to 8, and we follow it up here, we say if he's 8, then when we run into the graph, we can follow it over to the y-axis and see what number it matches with. So here, Ty is 8, we go up to the line, and that would make her 11. And that fits because 8 and 11 does put her 3 years older if he's 3 years younger. Yeah? So there you go. So we've got a table. You can see the table's a little bit out of order. That's okay. Those are the corresponding y values for any particular x. Okay? And we could have easily picked fractional numbers too. If we want, we could say 1.5. How old would she be? 4.5. Okay? And if we wanted to graph that, 1.5 comma 4.5 would be over here. Go over to 1.5, go up to 4.5. See? Halfway between 4 and 5. So that's another point that's on there. And we could just do that as much as we wanted for all values that we could think of for Ty's age. Okay. By the way, notice that this does not go below 0, because Ty doesn't. He's never going to be less than 0. I'm assuming Ty's a boy. I don't know why. Okay. Ty is not less than. He will never be less than 0. So his age starts at 0 and goes up from there. And so this is where the graph starts. Okay. Okay, here we go. Use a table, an equation, and a graph to represent each relationship. The number of triangles is 1/3 the number of sides. So let's say, we could say, it's a standard way of writing it, let x equal the number of triangles and let y equal the number of sides. Okay? And we'll write here x and y. Now, it's true that we could have put t and s, t for triangles, s for sides, but since we're graphing it and we have an x and a y coordinate, I like to define them in terms of x and y. We say triangles is x, number of triangles is x, number of sides is y. So then let's pick some values and plug them in. Let's say if we had 0 triangles, then how many sides would we have? Well, we'd have 0 sides. We need a triangle to have sides, right? If we had 1 triangle, we'd have 3 sides. 2 triangles, 6 sides. 3 triangles, 9 sides, etc. And you don't have to go by ones. You could say 10 triangles, 30 sides, however you want to do it. 20 triangles, 60 sides, and so on. Okay? Now, how do we mark this off? Well, first let's write an equation. Okay? We can say y, the number of sides, is going to be equal to the number of triangles, t, or rather the number of triangles, x. What do we do with the number of triangles to find the number of sides? Well, what do we do with this number to get this number? Same thing every time. Multiply by 3. So we say this. Okay? You could also write it in terms of 1/3. Okay, we could say x, the number of triangles, is 1/3 of y, the number of sides. That's another way of writing it if we kept the variables the same. Okay? Up to you. It's still the same. It still has the same relationship. I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm just going to use y equals 3x. I'm going to box it because that's what we want to know. And also, there's one other thing to note, that down here, if we're going by ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, remember, for the number of triangles, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. We could go by ones. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's do by ones just so you see it for a second. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you could say 0, 0, right here. 1, 3, right here. 2, 6. 3, 9. And we don't have it but 4, 12. You don't see it, but that's also a point. Okay. And by the way, these are whole jumps. You're not going to have a half a triangle and half of the number of sides, 1.5 sides. That's not how it works. Okay, so we got these whole jumps, and what they call this is discrete. And so you have these values work, but the line connecting them really isn't really truly true, I guess is one way to say it, because when you have a solid line, what you're suggesting is that points in between work. You could have half a triangle and 1.5 sides, 1.5 triangles and 4.5 sides, and that's not really true. So I'm going to take that out of here. Okay, and just leave the points, but you can see that relationship as running up there like that. Now, we're only really using this part of the graph because we run out at the top really quickly. Since there's 3, we have to go by 3s up here. So there's another option that you can do, and hopefully this is not new information to you. I'm going to get rid of these points. Okay. Here's another option, is that we don't go by ones here. Okay. We could go by some other number if we wanted to. We could go by 3s. Let's just go by 2s, let's say, just so you see it. Okay. What if we went by 2s? Then we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. (12, 14, 16, 18, 20). Okay. And now let's graph that. So we say 0, 0. That's still right there at the origin. And then 1, 3. That means if we go over here to 1, we've got to go up to 3. But these are going by 2, so this is 2. And then 3 is right there. We've changed the scale of this. Okay, we've changed the scale of y, so it kind of changes what the graph looks like, but the information is still all the same. If we had 2 triangles, we'd have 6, and this is 2, 4, 6. That's right there. So again, the graph looks different because we've chosen a different scale than 1 unit per box here. And you're going to want to get good at this. You're going to want to learn to modify your graph to, change the number of units for each box. In this case, it's 2, to maybe make your graph fit a little bit better than always going 1 and 1. You need to become more sophisticated than that. Sometimes we would say, for every 1 extra busload of people, right, or 1 extra bus that arrives, how many extra people? And if you say 1 bus means boom, 50 people because it's a huge bus, then you can't really graph that with a 1-to-1 thing. 1 bus is going to already shoot you way off of it. So this scale would have to look differently so that you could go, up to the 50 for the first bus and not shoot straight off the graph. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Now, let's keep going. You could go some other numbers. We could say, and let's just make up a few more numbers. We could go up to, let's say, 7. We could say 7 triangles. How many sides is that? 21. And I'm going to graph that by going over here to 7, and then up here to 20, and then half up to 21. Put that point there. Oops. Okay. And just to check it, it's not appropriate really to put a line because that's suggesting points in between work too, and they don't, because we don't have parts of a triangle. We either have 1 triangle or 2 triangles or 3, whatever. But by drawing this line, we're seeing whether all the points fall on a line in a linear fashion like this linear equation should have it. And it does. All the points are in a line here. And so it looks like we've done it right. Now I'm going to pull this out of here because we really shouldn't have that line there. And if you don't understand why, we can talk about that later. But essentially, we can either have one triangle with 3 sides, 2 triangles with 6 sides, 3 triangles, whoops, 3 triangles with 9 sides right there, 4 triangles with 12 sides, etc. Okay? That's it. I hope that was, I know it was long, but I hope that was a very clear explanation of what you need to do for these types of problems.